What's up, guys? We're on our way to get an oil change at Lexus service right now, and then we are going to be installing spacers on the 3AS today. I have a set of 20mm spacers to go on the front and rear, so I think they're going to be decently aggressive, probably a little less aggressive than I'd like in the front of the car, but I can always change that later. I like, starting somewhere and then going more if I need to. But yeah, so the car's going to be lowered soon, so I wanted to see how it looks like with spacers, and that's it, just stock suspension spacers. So we're going to test that out, but first we're going to get the oil change. I also wanted to say thank you so much for the turnout on my last video. First video of the channel, it's doing amazing, and I couldn't be happier. So I'm excited to bring more content to you guys and show you my journey for building this car. So thanks again, everyone who watched that video. If you haven't watched that video, go watch that video and tell me if you like it. Comment, let me know. All right, guys, so we're back from the oil change and the tire rotation. It took longer than expected, but we're finally ready to put the wheel spacers on. I bought these off Amazon. I'll link them down below, but they're 20mm spacers for the front and rear. You only need a few tools, so I'll show you what you need. All right, so here we have just a normal socket set. You don't need all of these, but if you know what your lug nuts are, you can just have that. We have an impact. You also don't need this. You can just use a normal breaker bar and ratchet. And then, of course, you're going to need your spacers. These are hub-centric. Make sure you get hub-centric so you don't have any weird vibrations or stuff like that. And then a jack. You can also use the jack that comes in your car or anything like that. But we have a jack here. It makes it a little easier. And we're going to start on the rears, and then I'll show you the front. All right, so before we start, this is the front before. You can see how sunken in it is. And then these are the rears before. Not as sunken in as the front, but it can obviously come out some more. And that's our goal for today. So you can see the side profile. And then I'll show you the afters once we have this back on. So if you're wondering what a IS300 all-wheel drive looks like in the back, it's this. So basically we're just going to be attaching it to this hub here. Alright guys, so this is what the inside of an IS300 looks like. So the spacer kit comes with thread locker. So you want to put the thread locker on your original wheel studs here. So I'm only going to use a little bit on each one. But this is just so that the spacer doesn't come loose. Alright, so your spacer is going to come with your spacer and these lug nuts. These lug nuts are going to go on your original wheel studs. So you'll put the spacer on like this. Make sure it's seated. And then you'll add these. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this socket here to get a better grip and tighten these up by hand. So the proper way would be using a torque wrench. I have an impact here, so don't judge me, but you'll want to tighten it in a star pattern. Okay. So after all tight, you'll be able to put the wheel back on. Alright guys, once your spacer's on, you just roll your wheel and you can put your wheel back on. Make sure it's seated fully. Make sure it's on that hub-centric ring. And then of course when you put your lugs on, it'll pull it into the hub. Alright guys, so I just let the car down. Obviously the ride height is crazy right now because it hasn't settled yet, but you can see the difference in poke. So the bottom of the tire is sticking out a lot more than it was before. And then on this side, still not done. Look how sunk those are. So this is a good way to add some aggression to your car. Obviously the car is getting lowered, so it's gonna look a lot better, but this is just way better than it was before. Okay, I'm gonna do the fronts and the other side. I'm gonna time lapse them though, so I don't take too much of your time. And I'll show you the end result once it's all done. Well, the car was here, boys, but there was a branch about to fall. So thankfully, my friend caught it, because that would have fell right on the Lexus. But either way, the car is done. This is my boy's RS. And here's how it looks done. So you can kind of see definitely in the back, it's like a lot better. The front, you could probably do 5 more. Probably do 25, which is an inch. And then the back, I think 20 is literally perfect. The back. It's gonna look so good once it's lowered. And you can see just how much more it pokes out. It's pretty much in line with the fender, which is what you want. So I'm loving it.